Hey everybody, welcome back. This week we're going to try and tackle the chain plate. There's a tongue twister for you, say that 100 times fast. There's quite a bit that needs to happen there. Obviously I need to repair the deck side of it. I need to cut out and insert a beam. So this one's going to take a bit of time. Let me show you what it looks like from the top. I don't know if the camera will be able to, but let me see if I can show you. Let's see if we can focus. There are these massive holes in here. Quite a bit of rot down in those holes. This was all filled with Sikaflex. And over there is literally nothing. Right, so this is underneath. There's the chain plate, there's a bulkhead, there's a great big gap. That's what you see from the top. This has obviously been repaired before because this isn't a standard beam. It goes all the way into here, up until there. And then from there onwards, it's the original beam again. So this is an old repair and bits were obviously added on. Alright, so coming to this side, here is the original beam. Now I need to scarf somewhere along here and add in a proper beam and see if I can do a half decent job of it. My hope is that I can. And so the first thing that I have to do is mark the placement of the holes. That should be fairly easy. I do that on the foot of the new chain plate. I'll use some spray paints. I'll spray from underneath. I find it's the quickest, easiest way to do it. When I remove the beam, at any rate, I'll have to just line up the new chain plate, make some marks and drill that right through from scratch. I may even have to make new plates underneath because they're not going to line up. But I'll take the time and I'll make the effort to do something really good. But first I need to remove the inner chain plate. So these are the bits that hug the bulkheads underneath and the chain plate sandwiches over the top across that beam. Then I got to clean up all of the mess around it and begin trying to scarf sort of an angle out of that small piece of the original beam. This is exceedingly difficult. Alright. So that's the other two inner chain plates that wrap around the bulkhead. I mean, aside from being a little crusty, they can definitely be polished up. They're just there to hold the bolts in place and to provide a bit of structure. I will recondition the bulkheads, but the big thing now is to cut away that rotten piece of what's remaining of a beam. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. Wow, look at what we have here. Wow. That's sort of what I'm aiming for. I mean, yeah. My hope is I can definitely put something better in here. And all of this will need to be cleaned up, sanded, patched. Oh, I can see that that's been patched as well, the roof, the ceiling. All right, so there's certainly a lot to unpack. There's a lot going on here. Good morning. It's the next day and let's have a look at our spoils. Alright, so I finished the base plate, more or less. It could still use a bit more cleaning and polishing. I have made these two bits, and then we have these. So they'll get cut and welded down through that. They'll end up something like this, with that cut off and welded on. And something like that. Plan is to try and do that today. I do also have to do a little bit of sanding on the deck. It's been a day or two since we did all of this work, and I need to do one more small piece of glasswork, but I don't know if I have enough resin left to do that, so I might be short on resin, which sucks. I then need to measure out and cut for the new portholes all the way along that side. Scrape and fair and sand and prime and all of the things that make a good finish. Let's see how far we get. So this side is done. I can actually start fairing here already. Off camera I've made several smaller patches. Fix a few cracks. This one needs another smaller patch to bring it up to height. That one as well, and a little section around the corner over there. Otherwise it's also ready to get fed. I've sanded all along here, but I need to do a lot more work. You can see the old mat weave coming through there. And the chop strand that was laid on top of it. It needs another fairly aggressive sanding, including here. And then more patches. Overall, progress is good. I need to change out my sandpaper and do a bit more sanding, but I'm tired of sanding. I've been sanding for 2 days now. And I am out of resin, so I do need to go and get more resin, and that's not going to happen before this video comes out. So probably only next week I'll finish the glassing. But I can do a bit of fairing. So this is the very first layer done, and on some of the smaller patches that you can see here, and in the aft section, areas that I needed to get to. However, this is just the first layer. Most of this will probably get sanded down, and here we go too. After this, it's sanding and then rinsing and repeating. I can see that this is going to take way more than a week or two to do. Probably the rest of the month, easily. And it's been forecast that we're going to have pretty strong southerly blowing in over the next few days. So it's already started picking up this afternoon, which leaves me with very few things I can do on deck. And one of those things that I was able to do was glass over the area for the chain plate. So this now needs to dry. So now I can get underneath and start scarfing this area. It's so difficult, man, but I did eventually get to it, and just about managed to get it done from like 100 different angles. Right, so there we have it. I was able to scarf, or at least begin to cut an edge in there. Wow, that was not an easy thing to do. Next up, I need to cut down here and across and maybe widen that a bit, because the new beam is just a little bit thicker than that space. Right, well that was not easy, finicky job. I eventually just stopped recording because that whole thing took about 2 hours. It is now well in the afternoon and I need to start editing and rendering this video for you guys. So I'm going to call it quits this week. I didn't get to the chain plate. All that needs to happen now is the welding. But I still need a few days anyway because I have to finish the deck and I need to build up that area with a thicker, I realize I said a 600 gram biaxial. That's probably not correct. I've got like a 250 gram biaxial strip to build up and fix that area of the toe rail because there's a small cavity. That's why I'm trying to fix all these things, and with the chain plate off makes it a lot easier to do. So that'll be it for this week. Thank you everybody who's returned, and thank you to everyone who's watching and liking and following. And if you haven't already, subscribe please, and if you'd like to buy me a coffee you can do so. There's a link down below and help support the channel. And I'm going to go and lie down because I've been cramped in a weird spot for like the last 2 hours and my shoulder's real sore. So I'll see you all next week. Bye bye everyone.